guys, what's up? Welcome to this week's episode of Zyba Games. The date is, I don't know what the date is.
What is the date today?
February 23rd.
February
23rd, 2020.
Jeez, February is already almost over, dude.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's well, I was going to say it's a really short month, but it's really not that short of a month.
No.
Because we only go to the 29th, so we only get a day.
Yeah.
But yeah, guys, welcome to Zyba Games. We got a lot of things to talk about this week. We want to make sure you guys know we do have YouTube videos of all of these episodes. So if you want to watch those, Yogomi does a lot of work on those, puts a lot of things. We have game clips in there. You can see what we look like. It's just there's some really cool edits and all kinds of different things. So make sure you guys check those out. Make sure you also check out our socials. We have our Twitter, our Facebook, and our Instagram. They're all still kicking off. Yeah. And if you guys don't know how it's spelled, obviously you found the somehow. It's on the name, but it's ZYBAGAMES.
And that's on all the socials, right? It's Twitter.
On all of them, yes. So somehow we got them all. But that's good.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised. No matter what you come up with, there's somebody that's came up with the same name as you at least once somewhere. So yeah. This week we don't have Bobo for right now. I don't know where Bobo's at. We tried to get a hold of him, but we don't know where he's at. So maybe he'll show up randomly in the middle of the episode. Maybe he fell asleep. Maybe he just forgot that we were recording the podcast tonight. But other than me, DeeJayHerro, we have Yogomi with us today.
What's up, everybody?
As always, we have Yogomi. It's always going to be me and Yogomi. So if you guys are ever wondering,
no doubt,
unless one of us is really sick and we have a guest host or we do something weird, but we'll figure something out. Yogomi, what have you been playing this week?
I always play Destiny 2, but I also jumped in. I jumped back on some Forza Horizon 4. I started Metro, and then I played a lot about the game that we talked about last week, which we will talk about later in the podcast. But I did play Hellblade, and we're going to talk about that later.
This week, something did happen in Destiny.
It's true.
There was a strange cutscene that came out this week. Basically, we'll let you talk about that one because you know it better.
It was Osiris, and he seemed to have some beef with Rasputin. He goes into the war mind, and basically, seems like he has a problem with Rasputin and doesn't trust him. And I'm going to tell you, look, we talked about this week.
Yeah.
I've never trusted Rasputin. Now, I don't necessarily trust Osiris because he's been messing up a lot of stuff too. But I've never trusted Rasputin because I think Rasputin is this crazy weapon, like, you know what I mean? Like, it always seems like it's dangerous, no matter if you're friendly or whether you're an enemy. You always seem like you're in danger around Rasputin. And
every time I think about Rasputin, I think of like is it Avengers or is it just the Captain America one, where they Hydra has the ship and then they're trying to set up that program where it's like
that was
eliminating future terrorists.
That was Captain America, the Winter Soldier. That's like it's right. Yeah, it is sort of like that. It's sort of like this kind of rogue weapon that was created by Rasputin, and there's all this lore and stuff behind it, and I encourage everyone to go and read up about it or watch. There's lots of videos out there that talk about what Rasputin is, where it came from, but I've never trusted Rasputin. And so Osiris clearly has a problem with him, but I was in a chat the other day. I was in a chat. I can't remember whose Mixer chat I was in. It might have been Samikins or somebody but I was on Mixer, and people were talking about the cutscene, and somebody came up with sort of like a fan theory that it could be possible that in the cutscene, the Osiris that's going in to talk to, that has the beef with Rasputin, may not be the Osiris that we know, but one of those got away and went rogue and decides that, that particular Osiris has a problem with the Rasputin and it's not really Osiris. So I don't know. I just thought that was an interesting theory, but doesn't change the fact that I've never trusted Rasputin. I would trust Osiris more than I would trust Rasputin, and we all know Osiris is a little bit of a. So I thought it was interesting, and that's what's coming in the next season, along with a bunch of a lot of changes. You got nerfs,
trials.
Yeah, trials is coming back.
Trials.
But they're also nerfing a bunch of weapons.
They never tell you it is.
Yeah,
exactly.
It is,
and then they never know if it really is. They're like, maybe.
Yeah. But they're also nerfing a bunch of weapons too. They're nerfing what is it? The last word. They're changing some things. One. Yeah, they're nerfing.
I think they're nerfing snipers, but they're nerfing snipers, but only PVE based.
Yeah, pretty much PVE based. I think mainly, which is gonna make a big difference with the Izanagi, because Izanagi's burden is like the go-to, especially during raids and everything, taking out the bosses. And then there's a change that they're changing a class to be like rapid instead of I think it was aggressive frame. I think it's supposed to be rapid frame or something like that. And I don't think they're going to do as much damage. And I just had a really good drop. I think it was just yesterday as I was grinding. I had a really good grenade launcher drop. It was Love and Death, and which came out last season, the season of Dawning, I guess you could say. It was what it was called. And it's got a pretty good roll. It's got moving target and full court. And I was going in and just taking out people. Then I'm like, wonder what this is going to be like when the next season. Is this going to be just as good? So we'll see. There's a lot of changes coming, but there's also, a lot of people talk about I definitely have a problem with the unbalanced gameplay in PvP.
Fusion rifles.
Yeah, fusion rifles, which also are supposed to be getting a nerf. So that's supposed to be changing. Yeah, because those are clearly crutches for a lot of people. You come around a corner and you drop, 3 or 4 shots in someone, and they take it from across the map. You're like, what? So
that makes no sense.
0 sense. Yeah. And a lot of people will say, well, you only get 2 shots when you start out. But the thing is when you're playing PvP, you're more likely to run over special ammo than you are heavy ammo, because people drop it all the time. Most people run with a primary and a special and a heavy. Yeah. Right? I know I had to break my rule because I used to run with a sidearm or a hand cannon, which I felt was short range. I felt that was short, but that changed over time. But most of the time, people are getting, axed left and right. So there's special ammo all over the map. So you can fill up that, that fusion rifle if you really want to. So hopefully they're going to make a change there, and then people can stop crutching on it. Yeah, I said it. Crutching.
Crutch.
So we'll see.
It's true, though. I mean, you get in there and you're like, easily 4 out of 6 people on every single team you play against are using a fusion rifle.
Yeah, fusion rifle. And there's a reason that they're using it. They're using it the same reason that, people come straight at you with shotguns and things like that. It's because it's an easy kill. They know that they're going to get the kill. It works. It's very effective. You want to win the game, you want to use the weapons that are effective. That's just, I get it, Me personally,
anything. Yeah, it's anything in life. If you're in the Tour de France and there's a bike that's faster than every other bike,
exactly, you're going to get that bike. Yeah. And so me personally, I like to use scout rifles. I love scout rifles because it is about, distance and getting those headshots. Nameless Midnight is still my jam. But then for my special, I've been rolling with snipers. I've been doing the sniper because still I think snipers require skill.
I feel more rewarded when I use a sniper. If I get a headshot with a sniper, like I feel like hell yeah, that was dope, man.
Right.
Like, I get a shotgun kill. I'm like,
yeah, you knew,
and then
right?
It's over.
Yeah, and you saw that clip that I don't know if you saw the clip the other day where I had the 2 snipes at the end. Yeah. Where I was getting hit and flinched, but I still got both of those headshots, one shot. So that is very rewarding, as opposed to like he's filling me full of bullets and I'm just gonna fusion rifle him and then go on about my business. You know what I mean? And so
Let me throw a real quick plug in too. If you guys play on Xbox, we do have an Xbox club now for Zyba Games as well, where you guys can put in clips like Yogomi's clip. It is in there. And you can watch it. So if you want to watch that clip, there it is. I have a ton of Rocket League. I have a lot of weird clips that I put in there, but yeah, we'd love to see his clips.
Yeah. Join our Zyba Games Club on Xbox. But I could go on about Destiny all day. I love Destiny. You know that. But
Destiny is amazing. I mean, it's a great game. It's a very strange ecosystem. They've taken a very different route with that game. Mm-hmm. And at times it's been very rewarding, and at times it's been the exact opposite.
Yeah, it's not the perfect game. There is no perfect game.
Yeah, like, they made themselves like the piece of cardboard you put behind your target when you go to the shooting range.
Yeah,
it's like, here's the target. Look, the front. Like, you just see the little holes in there. Like, you don't see all the other holes that we have from all the other mistakes we've made.
Right, exactly, exactly.
But they do a good job at communicating and trying to fix things and trying to help.
Yeah, I agree.
The community in general, because they have a really good community.
Yeah, they have a great community, and there's a lot of people that are really passionate about the game, as well as developers, and
there's a lot of people that have made full-time careers out of just making content for that game.
I follow a bunch of them. Glad, Fallout Plays, Imtash, Geekermon, Aztec Cross. I mean, I follow a lot of those guys. True Vanguard's one of my favorites.
Cactus.
Rick Cactus here. Yeah, I love those guys. So I watch those guys a lot, and I think it's amazing that they can make a whole channel based around one game. I don't feel confident in myself enough, because I'm not great at the game. I'm good. I'm average to above average at the game. I'm not great at the game, but I just love it so much.
Yeah.
And
here's another plug. If you guys want to watch Destiny 2 content, Yogomi plays it quite often. So if you want to go over there, that's where he's at.
Mixer.com/Yogomi. Yeah.
That's not always what he's playing, but
I do love Destiny.
I'll be playing like this week. Yeah, I played a lot of games this week, and pretty much every single time I was playing a different game, Yogomi was still playing Destiny.
Yeah, he's like, I'm gonna play this. I was like, all right, and then you'd hear me like, what? What's going? What? I was like, what are you playing? Destiny.
I didn't even need to ask that one, but it's there.
I love that game. I love it.
It's a good game. All right, well, let's talk about the next thing. The next one we'll talk about is Apex Legends.
Oh, yeah.
They got their Kings Canyon map back temporarily. So they brought back the OG map, which is cool. Everybody loves that map, but they're like, yo, this is just temporary. I was pretty sad about that. I'm not gonna lie. The OG map. I really love the OG map. I love the map they have right now. The new map they have right now, especially with the new stuff for the new season. They really spiced it up a bit, added little different things, making it a little more exciting. But I do miss the old map. I feel like the old map was very you were separated. It wasn't a lot of multiple team fights.
Yeah.
Until like the end.
I watched several people play this week and watched so many people had a second team come up on them as they were fighting.
Oh yeah. Every time. I mean, that's battle royales, but still. Yeah. And another thing too, they got the new Octane skin pack. I should have sent you a picture of that so you could see it, man. Like,
well, I have it up now. Yeah.
Okay, so it's like that white skin with like the purple highlights.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to match what I'm seeing it from. It has a very like a Power Ranger bad guy vibe.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, you can buy it. It's only $20. But you get a couple things, right? You get it's like an ornament, you get a skin, you get that, and then there's one other thing again. I don't remember what it is, but $20 is a lot of money, but it is a free-to-play game.
Yeah, that's true.
And I probably spent more money on loot boxes on that game than I care to acknowledge. But
I can tell you right now, I haven't spent a dime on that game. But I don't really play it as much as you guys do.
Yeah. I had a very bad addiction period to that game for 2 different times. Yeah. But
it's a great game though. You know how I am about BRs. Like, I don't really play BRs, but I do like Apex. We talked about that a while back in one of the earlier episodes, that I actually really do like that game.
So I'm gonna end the Apex stuff right there because I want to go right into the next one. So I had another one that I want to talk about. So we actually talked about this last night. So I'm in a lot of different like Xbox Facebook groups, and I like to mess around. I don't want to say mess around with people, but I like to be the devil's advocate. Is that the word I want to use? Because there's a lot of things to talk about. Like people always hate on anything anybody does.
Yeah.
Everybody hates on Activision. I was gonna say that second. Everybody hates on BRs. Right. Not everybody, but you know what I mean. There's a lot. Yeah. So Activision just this week, they posted a thing where saying Activision's going after. So people that were leaking basically new BR. Mm-hmm. A lot of those people were people that were signed on contract as NDA.
Right.
and they weren't supposed to talk about it,
Right.
or share images or other
Right.
things. But guess what? They still did it, and people are getting all mad at Activision for going at them for that, or after them for that. So, I mean,
Which is, any company would do that. That's what an NDA is for, non-disclosure agreement.
not
Means
even
you
a company,
don't
any
disclose
person would do that, like
Right.
go against that.
Right.
Yeah.
You know how many NDAs I've had to sign in my career that had absolutely nothing to do with gaming? I couldn't go out and just like, hey, look what I'm working on for this major company here. You
Check
know?
this out.
Yeah, it's cool. Check it out. And throw up a YouTube video about it, you know?
Yeah, and so in all these Facebook groups, man, all like still to the day, I've had it all week. I've just been seeing these people like Activision being a-holes again, Activision picking on little people again. I'm like, dude, I was like, that is not what it's about. I was like, and then like I started like I defend that part, and then people are like, BRs are just shiz, and they should just stop making them. I'm like, dude, I was like, what is your problem, bro? I was like,
Yeah.
if there's
so
money, oh my
weird.
bad, I just hit my mic.
Yeah.
If there's money to be made, make it.
Yeah, that's so weird. Like, that's almost like
that's
saying,
life.
yeah, racing games are bad. They should stop making. Well, do you play racing games? No. Then what does it matter? You know, like you don't have to play BRs. I rarely play BRs. Like only time like you said last couple of weeks ago when I jumped in on Apex, you guys were like, what? Like Yogomi's gonna play Apex? Yeah. Yeah. I don't play BRs, but they're there. It doesn't really bother me, you know.
They make money.
Yeah.
Like, plus, what you're talking about too, Blackout was, okay, Apex is the best VR I've played. But before that, Blackout was up there. Was like, I thought Blackout was better than PUBG. I thought Blackout was better than DayZ. I was like, this is amazing.
Yeah, I will say I played Blackout, and I actually really like Blackout too. That was one of the games.
Literally, yeah, it really felt like you were just playing Call of Duty inside of a map, instead of a battle royale map. And I was like, wow, they really put those together amazingly.
Mm-hmm. It was a great.
So for this Warzone, I think Warzone's gonna be amazing. I'm really excited for it,
Mm-hmm.
and it's gonna be free to play. On top of the game, I don't know if we don't know. Obviously, they're not. This is all. I don't want to say speculation, but it is coming. We know it's coming.
Yeah.
The problem is we don't know how they're gonna sell it. Is it gonna sell separately? Is it gonna sell? You have to have the game to play it. Is it gonna be free to play with loot boxes? Is it? You know, what I mean, there's a lot of things they could do with it.
Yeah, that's true.
I think the main reason why Blackout didn't go big is because Blackout was under that paywall.
Yeah, that's true.
That hurt.
Mm-hmm.
We all said it. We all said it the whole time. They're like, dude, if they just gave the people that paid for it something and then made it free to play for everybody else, it probably would have gone way bigger and made them a lot more money. But when you're under a corporation, that's what happens.
Yep.
And so Big Brother's got to tell you how to make money because you don't know better, I guess, even though you feel like Call of Duty would figure it out eventually, but whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
I mean, I'm not saying they haven't figured it out. They haven't figured it out. They have it down to a science, but all right, let's go to the next thing.
Okay.
I want to talk about PlayStation.
Yeah.
PlayStation pulled out of PAX East.
Yeah.
And that's a big one.
Yeah.
The reason why that was such a big one is because right now we should already be playing Last of Us 2.
Yeah, that's true.
And they were like, okay, we're going to delay it. I don't remember how, I think it's 2 months, 3 months. I think they delayed it. 3 months. All right, we're going to delay it 3 months, but we're going to make it playable at PAX East. And no, it's not. So all of Sony's gone.
Yeah.
And then I guess on top of that too. So, well, we'll just keep going at PlayStation and then I'll bring in the balance with it.
Okay.
so PlayStation also announced that they're pulling out of GDC. So PAX East is this weekend, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
this coming weekend. Yeah.
And then in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I think 3 weeks is GDC.
Mm-hmm.
Xbox will be at GDC. Xbox will be at PAX East as well.
Yeah.
Yes, but Xbox is a lot more state-based focused than PlayStation.
True.
True. But that's also part of the reason why Xbox is not winning.
Yeah.
but that's a whole nother thing. So the reason why PlayStation is saying that they're pulling out is due to coronavirus concerns.
Yeah.
Yogomi, how much are you buying of that?
I don't know. Well, I will say companies that are signaling problems with due to the coronavirus. Apple's one of them. Even Adidas and Puma have reported that they're going to have problems. There's a lot of companies that are really like, man, this is really hurting our business. It's, I believe in a global economy, everybody working together. We're all on the same planet. I believe in that, right?
Yeah.
But this is what happens. This is the thing. Like if we had these jobs here in the United States or someplace that wasn't, affected by this coronavirus, or you could have a backup plan, then it wouldn't be so much trouble. But unfortunately, that's not the case. And there's a lot of controversy too around the coronavirus about when it was actually detected and when it was actually reported. There's all this news around where it may have been kept quiet longer than they thought, or deliberately kept quiet before it got out. And over in China, and then they wouldn't allow the CDC in for some reason for a period of time. If this isn't a wake up call of bringing jobs back here, so or somewhere else, I don't know what it is, but at this point, you're hurting yourselves,
Yeah.
So I can give some validity to maybe what PlayStation is saying about it, some of it. Because we talked about how much it's going to cost to make the PS5 and all the things.
It's true. Well, also too, on top of that, we just announced too, like it was like 2 days after PlayStation announced. PlayStation got on the firing squad. Obviously, that's just what happens. But then Facebook also announced that they're not going to PAX East.
That's true.
And if you don't know what Facebook has Oculus.
Right. That's right.
And if you've never been to a PAX
and seen their booth,
Oculus is huge at PAX.
Yes,
it is a good 1/10 of the floor.
Mm-hmm.
Like with the Facebook booth.
Remember last year at East, they had a rule where you couldn't have booths. Remember that? They had to be open. You couldn't have an actual booth. You can have your area, but you couldn't have a booth. Or
it had to be accessible by
everybody. Yeah.
General public. Yeah.
So, yeah. But Facebook and Oculus, because the way that their setup is, it doesn't work to not have a booth, because they have those glassed-in pods where people can go in and do the Oculus.
Yeah.
And you can walk by and look inside and watch them. So I mean, they kind of had to have. But from what I understand, they paid.
Well, I thought the rule too was you had to have, it was like 90%. I think it was 90% of your booth had to be
accessible.
Accessible to the public.
Yeah.
And so Facebook had a huge booth. So to have this little tiny section, even though it was really big, they could have a partner lounge.
Right. And you remember the lines outside of East to get into this was also the same way of how it was at West as well. The line to get into the Facebook booth to be able to play the Oculus games, they were long. Like, people were standing in line for a bit, And
they had multiple lines all over the place.
That's true. They had multiple lines. Like I remember going to one side and there were 2 different lines that were going in, because you would walk down this sort of, I guess you could call it like a hallway, and there were Oculus booths on both sides, left and right. So, yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah.
So another thing too with this PAX East and PlayStation, I don't know if you saw this, but the mayor of Boston. Did you see any about this?
I did not see this.
So he pleaded. He's like, PlayStation, please come to PAX East. And he's like, but then he also kind of took a shot at him. He's like, use facts, not fear.
Oh.
Yeah. I was like, ooh, that's a shot, bro.
Yeah, that is. Wow.
So, yeah, I mean, I get it and I don't get it.
Yeah.
Sony has enough people stateside, or they could pull in contractors or different things that they can make it work.
But didn't they pull out of E3 last year?
Yeah, but they pulled out of E3 because I think, honestly, the reason why they pulled out of E3 is because they didn't have a lot to show at that point. Yeah. At that point, because they already had all their bangers came out already at that point.
Yeah.
They had some bangers coming out later, but it was just like, you know what? We'll just do our state of play.
Yeah.
And we'll just, which is a good move. I mean, we talk about the money that goes into E3 is, I don't remember the numbers we were talking about. It's a lot of money you got to put in for E3 as a company, especially a massive company like that. And you want to have a booth that matters. And
true.
I mean, they pretty much rent an entire what do you want to call it, theater
Yeah.
out for themselves. Like
That's true.
Xbox does that, and so PlayStation was doing similar, and so I think that's a lot of that. But I don't know, man.
Yeah.
They could have. There's definitely PlayStation could figure something out.
Yeah.
And I feel like they're just like, you know what? We'll just take this one. It's just all I see is ever since we started doing this podcast, I look at a lot of like the different fanboy groups, right? So I have people that I follow on, right? So PlayStations, I have people on Facebooks, and it's just funny how they fight back and forth about everything. But one of the big one is, and it's a good point. So when Sony announced that they weren't going to E3, they're like, we're going to focus more on going to the hundreds of events around around the world to showcase our games.
Right.
But like the two biggest ones that are happening right now, they just dropped out of as well.
Yeah.
It's like that's everyone's like we're so excited for the hundreds of games or hundreds of shows, but now we got to make sure too, everybody that's listening to this podcast, don't hate us, don't think that we're just Xbox fanboys. Like PlayStation's awesome. PlayStation has the exclusives. Like, don't get me wrong. PlayStation,
you know me, I have all the
yeah.
systems. Yeah, I've got PlayStation. I play my PlayStation 4.
And
I play
they
my
killed
Switch
it this generation.
Yeah,
like
I love my PlayStation.
I'm not gonna hate on PlayStation. Like, whatever this next gen. Like, first thing, obviously, I'm gonna buy the Xbox Series X, and then I'll probably end up buying a PS5 as well down the road a little bit. But like, just I think Xbox is in a better position to win this next generation, but they still have a lot to do, and I feel like PlayStation needs to act eventually.
Yeah.
And then I saw another thing. So Sony was talking to like the PlayStation group, and they're trying to, like, the Sony like top dogs are like, yo, so like PlayStation, you guys got to release, like, yo, PlayStation's like, no, we're not doing it yet. So it's really like an internal affair. Yeah, they're going at it. They're like, need something, because right now, I mean, that's investors, right? So
yeah, that's true.
That's just how that works. But
that's true.
I don't know.
But I think PlayStation isn't. I mean, as far as consoles, right? PlayStation is still the leader, like the most sold consoles, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
I
mean, smallest, cheapest DVD player you could get at the time, because that was right when DVD players were brand new.
That's true.
I don't know, man. I'm excited to see what's gonna happen this generation.
Yeah.
It's gonna be, these next few months are gonna be
crazy.
But I don't know. This is totally. I don't want to keep going off subject, but I keep having like other stories come to my head, because like I listen to a ton of podcasts. I read like news stories about like these consoles and different things. But one thing that I think it was Randall Thor. They do the Xbox 2 podcast.
Right.
He's talking about. He's like Microsoft doesn't need to win the generation.
Right.
Microsoft's making so much money everywhere.
Right. You mean outside of gaming, right?
Yeah. Sony, like PlayStation is a big part of Sony. Right. Like a huge part of Sony. Right. Like, yeah, they sell TVs, they sell computers. Are they even selling the Vios anymore? Do those sell anymore? Sony, like, play huge part of Sony.
Right.
Like, yeah, they sell TVs, they sell computers. Are they even selling the Vios anymore? Do those sell anymore?
I think they do. They think they still make laptops and stuff. I think I was looking up one not that long ago, but I don't know if they call them Vios anymore. I don't know if Vios a thing. Huh. I remember that was, but they used to remember the Vios were the coolest though. Yeah, they made some really cool computers back in the day, but
like all their other stuff has gotten just quiet.
Yeah, it's true.
Not
yeah, like, everywhere.
Yeah, they're fighting Apple and stuff, but they're still everywhere.
Yeah, I'm actually on the Sony site, and I don't see computers as a thing anymore.
Dang.
They may have gotten out of the computer industry, because I don't see. I see, television, home theater, audio, cameras, because they're killing it in the cameras right now with the mirrorless mirrorless SLRs and all that stuff, DSLRs. I mean, and then they still sell cameras outside of photo cameras. They still sell video cameras, like camcorders and all that stuff, action cameras. And then they still have their cell phones. They still sell cars and all that stuff. Car, like, then you go down to, they have a whole professional line of movies, projectors, but nowhere on here are their computers. So I think they've gotten completely out of the computer market. Yeah.
It's getting a little crowded in the computer market.
It is,
especially just in the gaming side alone. Like there's so many of these companies that are just like
popping up. Yeah, that are making games
like,
specifically or making computers specifically for gaming. You know, like this is a gaming computer, even though you can do everything on it.
Yeah,
they're making them powerful specifically so you can play games.
Yeah. There's so much, bro. It's such a cool market, but strange. Like especially like with the difference of the two companies.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of the people that argue both sides only look at the console side.
Right. That's true.
Like
it's true.
I don't know. All right, another thing. Xbox news. Really cool thing coming out this week. Sayonara Wild Hearts comes to Xbox this week. I don't remember the date. I was looking at it. I don't know. I can look it up real quick. I knew it was this week. I forgot to write it down.
Oh yeah. When is it? It'd probably be. What do you think?
Is it Tuesday?
Probably. It's usually when it's.
So by the time you guys actually hear this podcast, it'll already be out. Yeah. But you're welcome if you haven't played it. So this game is pretty crazy, right? So it scored an 83 on Metacritic, which that's a pretty good number to get. An 83 is, I mean, that's 83 is, I don't know how to explain an 83 to you guys. You know what an 83 is. 83 out of 100.
And it does come out on Tuesday, by the way, 25th.
Okay. So what they say about Sayonara Wild Hearts, they say Sayonara Wild Hearts is an action rhythm game that tells the story of a heartbroken young woman who finds her alter ego, a masked biker called The Fool in a Dream. She sets out on a neon light-filled journey to defeat the boss, Little Death, find balance in the universe, and mend her broken heart. Over on the game's websites, it's described as a pop album video game about riding motorcycles, skateboarding, dance battling, shooting lasers, wielding swords, and breaking hearts at 200 miles per hour. So if you guys ever seen any of this game, it has been out for a little while. It's been on the other platforms. But it's awesome.
Yeah.
It was nominated for Game of the Year in multiple different what do I want to use the word? I don't say divisions.
You mean platforms or
companies? I don't know the words. Like so we got DICE. It was on DICE. It was on VGAs. It was on.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
All the different.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it showed up in a lot of the different. I don't know what the word is I want to use. I'm not good with words.
It originally came out on September 19th. Is when it came out.
And when?
That's my mom's birthday, by the way.
When did you say it was?
September 19th, 2019.
September 19th. Okay, so yeah. It's been out for a little bit. It's not on Game Pass yet. I'm assuming it'll come to Game Pass shortly after it actually comes out. But if you guys want to play it right away on Xbox, you know where to find it.
Yeah.
From what I see in this game, it's really cool. A lot of the moves all go based with the music that you're playing with. Mm-hmm. So if you miss the beat, you miss the attack.
Yeah.
Or the ability or the thing that's supposed to happen. Mm-hmm. I'm really excited for that. I will definitely be giving that game a go.
It's also got a very cool, like, kind of
the art
style, like sort of it's 3D, but it's sort of vectors, kind of
and dark at the same time.
A lot of contrast, yeah.
Sweet. All right, nothing that just came out this week. Fortnite Season 2, Chapter 2. Yep. I saw a lot of hype building up to this. I don't play Fortnite.
I don't either. I've never played
Fortnite.
But
I respect the life out of that game.
Yeah.
Because of what it's done for video games. This update was different. So I saw them posting a lot of different things. I don't know how to put it. Like they posted a lot of different tweets like leading up to it. Like different how do I explain them? Like it was like redacted statements inside of tweets, and so it'd be like, "This is redacted," and then and so it was super weird. And the pictures, I was looking at the pictures, so I was like, "What in the heck is happening in this game?" But it did come out, so it ended up being like a spy theme, which is actually kind of cool. What in the heck is happening in this game? But it did come out, so it ended up being like a spy theme, which is actually kind of cool. There's a new season pass menu changes. I was watching a couple different streamers go. There was just like they landed on this boat, right? They pick up guns, and then there's like these NPCs called henchmen running around. You shoot them, right? They go down like you do with the normal player, but there was a different ability you could do to them now, and so it was called Shakedown. And so you wouldn't kill them right away, but it would drop like a key card or something that would give you different abilities. So like some of the abilities were there was a like you could see where the enemies are for a short amount of time. You could see where the chests are located on the map. You could see where, I guess there was a henchman boss too. You could see where he was on the map, and you could kill him to get better loot.
Oh, nice.
Just I don't know, different things that made
That's
it a little
cool.
exciting.
They're like really switching things up there a little bit, like adding a little bit more. Yeah, that's kind of cool.
PvE element to a PvP game. Now, everybody, one of the big complaints I see about it is everybody's really complaining that you're trying to do the things like for that, trying to like adventure with it, but then you're still having to deal with other players,
Right,
and that's
like-
really annoying.
Yeah.
But that's just how it works. I mean, that's how every game works. You're like, oh, look at how cool this is. Like, you're in Apex. You're like, look at this dinosaur stomping on the ground. Someone starts shooting you from the side. You're like, this is great. Thank you.
Distractions.
So yeah, so the shakedowns in there. There's decoys. So kind of like, well, since we just said Apex, like Mirage, right? So you can send like, it looks like you walking over there. People will shoot at it. Then you could shoot them for shooting at your decoy. This one's random. Teleporting toilets. I mean, you know, it works. It's something. So, and then another cool thing was throwing consumables. So, say your buddy gets shot, he's hiding behind a tree over there. You're hiding in the sentry, and you can throw your med pack and hit your teammate with it, and he'll heal.
Oh yeah.
Like, I thought that was pretty dope. I was like, all right, that's cool, because they had the bandage gun. I don't know if you ever saw that. It was like looked like you're walking around with the chain gun, but you'd shoot band-aids at your teammates and heal them.
I don't think I've ever seen that.
Yeah, it was kind of cool without it.
Fortnite. I don't
Seen that.
Yeah, so there's that one, and then there's also another thing too. You can get, it's a cardboard box hiding.
Oh yeah,
So
so that I have seen. Like that's
Yeah,
it used to be like the bush,
A
right?
lot of people are
Now it's
memeing
like,
it right now.
Yeah, like the cardboard box. Yeah.
They're like, bloop, cardboard box that has everybody walking around like, don't mind us. Just
Yeah, it
cardboard
reminds
boxes.
me of what was it? Dang it! What am I thinking of? Solid Snake. Who am I thinking about?
Metal Gear Solid.
Metal Gear Solid. Yeah, it reminds me of that. When I saw it, it's the first
Sorry,
thing
I
I
was
thought
drinking
of.
water. I was like, oh,
Yeah,
trying to
Metal
like
Gear
get something
Solid.
out
I
while
haven't played
swallowing.
that game forever. That's why I forgot the name, but the whole sneaking around in the box and everything. Yeah.
Yep, that's true. So, yeah, it looks cool. I've been watching some of it. There's one thing in there that was different for Fortnite skins. They make a lot of weird skins. Some not so weird. Some really weird. This one is a buff cat person.
Yeah. What is
I was
up
like-
with that?
I was like, you know what?
And he comes in
Cool on
different
you.
colors too. There's like a calico one. There's a
Well,
black
did you
one.
see did you see the cutscene like that they do at the beginning when you come in there? So it shows like the tape, like the boss table, whatever. All the bad guys are sitting at the table, right? And the main boss is sitting there, and he's like petting a cat head. And then the cat stands up, and he's all buff, and you're like, "That's so weird. Like that is weird."
I have not seen that. That does sound funny though.
Also, I like to just throw random speculations in there, or things that I hear that like are leaks or things that might happen. So in Fortnite, they just announced, or they didn't announce, but someone found this leak in the game. And I thought it was really cool. And I was like, man, they are reaching all over the place. So the rumor is that somebody found in the game when they're looking through the code with this new update, a Travis Scott skin
What?
on the game.
Are you serious?
So a Travis Scott event. I don't know how they're going to do it, what they're going to do, but I talked to my brother, because my brother's like a huge Travis Scott fan. Like, I like Travis Scott, don't get me wrong. He's got awesome music. He's done like really cool things. He's really good with like communities and stuff.
Yeah.
But like my brother loves Travis Scott. I told him, he's like, I will go in that game, buy that skin. I will go in that and not play him.
Yeah. You know, I'm a
And not even play the game. He's like, he doesn't even like the game. He probably has it not even downloaded. He'll probably like install it, buy it, uninstall it, just be like, yeah, Travis Scott.
So, you know, I'm a sneakerhead. So, you know, Travis Scott has got quite a few of his own Nike, his Jordans and stuff out. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So you're thinking
Doesn't make
about
me
it
want
too
to play
now,
the
huh?
game. However, yeah,
No,
he's got
that's
a
the
few
thing that's
Jordans
crazy.
that I like though.
Fortnite is crazy. So like they're so good at reaching into different genres, niches,
Yeah,
like different things like
cultures and
that.
stuff.
That
Yeah.
just people will come into the game, play for just a little bit, buy the skin, and leave. Like, it's a free to play game, but the things that they get people to come in to buy
Yeah.
are huge.
Yeah.
So like I watch the Kind of Funny Games podcast like a lot, right? And so like every time a superhero thing comes in, Greg Miller gets on the game, buys a skin, plays 3 games, never plays that character again.
He just wants the skin.
Every time, yeah, no matter how much it costs, he's like, I don't care. He's like, it's dope. He's like, I can play this Batman. He's like, did you get to play this Batman today? He's like, no. He's like, cool. So, Fortnite. I don't play it. I respect it.
Yeah.
That's all that matters.
Yeah.
They're doing big things, and I'm proud of them.
Yeah.
Another thing too. So coming out this week, I believe from this point where we're recording this, which is Sunday night, there's 3 days until early access starts on this game. It's kind of a pay to early access kind of game, but Blessed Unleashed is coming out. I like to focus on the people know that Blessed Unleashed and Blessed Online, just because they sound the same and they're made by the same people, is completely different.
Right.
They reworked everything. So Blessed Online was it's kind of a money trap. It did not go well. It was really bad MMO. I hate going towards this game early already at this game.
Right.
I had met with a lot of the devs on this game. It looks good. It looked cool when I played it there, but when I talked to them, I was like, yo, this game's slow, man. Like, you guys got to do something. And then, like, the first closed beta came up. We played in it, and I was like, yeah, this is slow. I was like, if they don't fix this deal, I was like, nobody is going to play this game.
Right.
It was like playing Knights of the Old Republic, but you were supposed to be playing fast, and you couldn't.
Yeah.
And so
I didn't get a chance to play it.
How do I explain this game? So I played a lot of Black Desert Online. I loved Black Desert Online.
I know.
I played the life out of it. It was super fun. It was a really addictive game. It had a very I don't know how to explain it. It just you wanted to keep playing because that whole game was PvP based.
Right.
So I could be anywhere on the map, and I see somebody, and I'm throwing down with them right then.
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
We'd be in a world bosses or stuff like that. Like, they'd spawn, bro. Everybody, like, if you were in a war with that other guild or clan, I think it's clans in that game, right?
Right.
You start throwing down.
Yeah.
So the difference between this game and Blessed is completely PvE or clan. I think it's clans in that game, right?
Right.
You start throwing down. So the difference between this game and Blessed is completely PvE based. There is a PvP. But for the most part, it's just a good PvE grind, like dungeons, go around, do quests.
Right. Because I watched you play BDO a lot, so.
Yeah, I played it a lot.
Yeah, and you were streaming it. Yeah, you streamed that quite a bit.
As a free-to-play game, it's probably the free-to-play game that I spent the most money on. Which, it's whatever. But, so Blessed Unleashed comes out officially on March 12th, and that is the free-to-play part. If you want early access, you can pay to get in early. The really expensive pack, the $79.99 pack, gets you a 15-day head start, which is February 26th, which is Thursday?
What, the 25th is Tuesday?
26th. 26th is
Wednesday, yeah.
Yeah. So 26th, it looks good. It looks fun. There's a lot of things that come with it. There's another pack. It's $39.99 pack. Comes out You get March 2nd, which is 10 days early access. It's $39.99 pack, which is March 5th, which is a 7-day head start.
Nice.
Obviously, they come with things that make the packs worth more, like currency, mounts, skins, different things like that. It looks good. I have a lot of high hopes for that game. They really are looking and listening to what their communities are saying, which is good, which is something that you definitely need to, what's the word I want? Award them for doing.
Yeah.
Now, if you guys aren't interested in MMO, PvP kind of games, it's probably not your game.
Yeah, maybe not.
It's going to be free to play.
That is free to play. At least it's worth trying.
And it's going to be, the PvE part, like, especially in that game, reminds me a lot of playing, like, Oblivion and different things like that. So there's different classes, there's different races. Maybe not Oblivion. What's the other one? Just the one that I don't know what it's called.
Dragon Age or no?
Yeah, Dragon Age.
Dragon Age?
Inquisition.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
it plays a lot like that. The graphics were a little not as big, but that's because it's MMO. You got to be careful, right? Especially on console. It's going on this gen, so that tells you that they can only push it so far.
Right.
Next gen, I'm assuming they're gonna have their texture packs come out for next gen, but we'll see what happens. Other things in news: Sea of Thieves had a new update. I don't know all the details in it. I'm not a big Sea of Thieves anymore. I played it like super early in the closed alpha.
I did too.
Messed around with people. It was really fun. It's not my game.
Yeah, I got bored with it. I don't know.
Yeah.
But here's the thing about Sea of Thieves, though. Every time that I end up jumping back into it, I end up having such a good time. I end up having a really good
time.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just like once I get away from it, it's hard to go back to it. You know what I mean? But if somebody goes,
time.
yeah.
Yogomi, we're gonna play Sea of Thieves. You want to join in? I'm like, yeah, sure. I'll join in. And then I play, and I have a wonderful time playing it. But like I said, if I get away from it, it's hard for me to come back.
Yeah.
This is a monkey. Are there other monkeys in it now, or something like that? They have like pet monkeys or something.
I believe so. I believe there's some stuff like that. There's some new boss things, mechanics in it. There's a big old PvP like matchmaking kind of thing
The
where
arena?
you can do. Yeah. But one of the big things that came in on this one was called a chest of rage. I've watched clips of this. I've watched all kinds of stuff. So they'll pull up on people like they're ready to fight, bro.
Right.
While they're fighting, they'll have one of their guys grab this chest and go hide it in their ship. What this chest does is everything goes on fire. Whatever ship it's on, everything goes on fire. So
you could plant it on someone's ship.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes. There's a good payout for it, right? But it's a lot of work because you got to run around and you got to sit there constantly throwing water on it, trying to like keep it from burning your ship down.
Can you pick it up and take it off?
Yeah, so you can pick it up and like throw it off your ship, but to
Doesn't
make it stop
hurt
burning.
you, or, oh yeah.
I don't know if it hurts you or not, but I was just seeing videos of people like sneaking them on, and like they'll jump and fight, and they'll just go throw on the ship and they'll leave, and the people were like, why'd they leave? But I also, why is everything on fire? Like, what the heck?
Okay, now I'm intrigued again. See, this is what I need to know. I need to know these things. What's some of my favorite people is on stream this on Mixer, and I always see them streaming it, but either I'm busy or I'm doing something else. But I may have to jump in on this again because that sounds actually kind of fun.
I have some crazy clips from this game, dude. Like, I remember when I played it when it was like first came out, or in the alpha, dude. And like, I remember like we'd run into other ships, and like, or no, I was climbing in a ship and it started sinking, and like, it was somebody else's ship, so I was like trying to steal their stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I'm down underneath, and like all of a sudden, dude, like everything goes blue. Like I went underwater really fast, and then all of a sudden I am at the very top of the map, falling. No ship, nothing. I'm just like, what the heck? I'm like screaming, dude. Like my crew's like, where did you go? Like, what happened? I'm like, what the? Like, it was so funny, dude. I had to find that clip. That was a while back. But I don't even know if.
But
I
it
was
is
streaming
cool
that
that they keep adding stuff to this. So
It's true, and I believe all of these updates are free.
Oh, nice. Even better.
Yeah, so why not? Give it a try, guys. I should have said this earlier, but Black Desert also had some news that came out through this week. And it's kind of controversial for a little bit for some things. So they announced that PlayStation 4 and Xbox One are going to be having crossplay on March 5th.
Yeah.
Now, let's talk about the good of that. Mm-hmm. The good of that, your player base just doubled on that one in that world. We'll say that world of it, right?
Right.
I just smacked my mic again. I keep doing that because I like to use my hands. But the bad news is, like I said earlier, that game is completely based on your dedication.
Right. Right.
So the bad news is that game came out months on Xbox before it came out on PlayStation.
Right. So there's some people that are way further ahead, probably, huh?
Yeah. That have everything, and like people that haven't stopped. Like my friends list, because I played it so much, is still full of people that play that game. Like I still have some, but they're all cool people. Like, you know what I mean? Like they still stop by and check me when I play other games, or like they'll send me messages and stuff. But like they're all still playing it. Right. And so when this switch happens, it's gonna be like Pilioka, right? Pilioka was like one of the big deals on Xbox when that came out. Like everybody knew his name. Mm-hmm. And he kind of stopped playing, but he got really far in there. And so I'm assuming he's going to come in when that happens, and they're just going to have a heyday. just wrecking people that haven't been able to play as much because, I mean, that's what they were already doing before, but now it's going to be a lot worse. So part of the other thing that's not fair is PlayStation hasn't caught up to Xbox in updates. So when I say updates, they add new areas, they add new characters, and now all of a sudden they're just like, hey, now you have all of them, but Xbox has had them for a while. So we'll see what happens. I'm not gonna play it, but I'm gonna be checking out my buddies that play it. I'm gonna get a hold of them and try to see how it goes because I feel like it's gonna be a mess, but it could be cool.
Yeah,
we'll see. So I'll follow up on that with you guys. So yeah. Actually, I wanted to go into this. So let's talk about some of the new games coming out this week. On Game Pass, there's a ton. Some of them I might have said before, but I was still just, my mind kind of gets blown sometimes when I see so many things. PC had a lot, which was crazy to me, that came out for this week. So PC Game Pass had Death's Gambit. They had Reigns, which is the Game of Thrones game. It's very, it's kind of like a card-based game, but it's not exactly. It's kind of like a D&D. Mm-hmm. In that sense, where you're like playing, you're making decisions, like choose your adventure maybe is a better way to use it. I watched some of it. It looked cool. I probably won't play it, but whatever. Yeah. World of Horror on PC, Scourgebringer on PC, Phoenix Point on PC, Grease on PC, and FTL on PC. On Xbox, they had Ninja Gaiden 2, which I believe not only is it backwards compatible, but I believe they also added a little bit of an Xbox, the Series X, not Series X, the One X pack, and so your graphics in there are gonna look amazing. Oh, nice. Another game is Indivisible, and Fishing Sim World, and there was another one, Bayonetta. So Bayonetta came over to Xbox, right? So that's a release. That's a release, not a.
And we actually did talk about Bayonetta last week. We were talking about because it is a Nintendo IP.
So yeah, but they talked about it, right? So Vanquish came out too. A lot of people are playing it right now. They added a 4K texture pack as well to that.
Oh wow!
And I was watching some of the gameplays and I was like, holy crap! I was like, that looks amazing. I was like, for a game that's 360. They brought it to life. Yeah. Like, not even 360. When did Vanquish? Was Vanquish 360?
I'm not sure.
I can't remember when Bayonetta Vanquish came out. I'm pretty sure it was a 360 game.
Vanquish game? The game came out. Oh, it came out in 2010. So it was Xbox 360.
That was like beginning of 360 then, yeah.
Yeah, initial release date was yeah, it came out on 360 and PlayStation 3.
Yeah, at first.
Yeah.
Again, they developed starting
in 2007 and released October 2010. And then it ported to Windows in 2017, and now February 18th, Xbox One and PlayStation 4.
Boom.
Yep.
So you guys go support that stuff. That looks really cool. I'm actually tempted to jump in there. I've always wanted to jump in those games, but I'd say I'm really busy with games, but I've been having a really hard time sticking with a game right now, other than Rocket League. Like, I get mad, I go play a different game, I go play. I'm like, Game Pass has all these games, I'll just keep downloading games, and I'm like, you know what?
You get mad at Rocket League.
Yeah, I get mad. I'm like, dude, it's like, that's not how it works. I was like, and then I leave, I go play, and then I come back to it, like 30 minutes later, every single time. Now the sad news, games that are leaving Game Pass.
Yeah.
And there's some heavy hitters. Batman's Return to Arkham, Just Cause 4, Rise of Tomb Raider, Snake Pass, Fallout 3, and Oblivion.
And when are these games leaving?
I believe they still have another week on Game Pass. And so if you guys do, and they said too, these games are also discounted. So if you want these games to keep after they leave Game Pass, it's like, I think they're 20% off if you have Game Pass.
Right, yeah, so you could purchase them.
So you can keep them, or you can just beat them really quick and be good. But
yeah, there you go.
you do you, that's what we'll say. You do you on that one. So yeah, let's go to the part of the show where we talk about the game that we played this week. This was a rough one for me. This week we played Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say right away, front door, Not my game.
It's not his game. No. And it's totally my game.
Yeah, but it's Yogomi's game. Yeah.
Yeah, it's totally my kind of game.
So Yogomi, let's talk about what you loved about it, and then we'll talk
Okay.
about what I didn't love.
Okay. So I actually really like puzzle games, and so that's what I like. But I like I like third-person games when they're like this, which is interesting because this was sort of an over-the-shoulder third-person. You know what I mean? It wasn't quite like full-on, like Uncharted or
any of the Lara Croft games or anything like that. But
it was all kind of over-the-shoulder, and I like the game. And it also suggests that you play the game using a headset, which is, you find out why, because the sound design in that game is absolutely amazing. I think there's a whole thing on YouTube,
Like
about,
documentaries.
documentary about how they made the game, and I highlight.
We'll put a link down on the YouTube so you can check that out on how they made the game and the motion capture and everything. But you told
We'll put a link to it that you're going to be like, hey, is somebody behind me? And so today, I was actually playing it today, and it's been raining here, for the past several days. And so I literally thought that it was thundering outside. Like, wait a minute, is it? Like, it was hard for me to distinguish. Yeah, the sound is so good. And, the game is a lot about, mental illness and things like that. And, it puts that into the game, and I will say that the game itself actually made me feel anxiety. It made me feel like it made me feel annoyed.
not with the game, but because of
sort of like, I guess it's, I don't know what you would call it, maybe the psychosis of and which to me, I'm like, this is what the game was going for. It's like, it's making me feel a certain way. It made me feel like, what the heck?
Sirens on our end.
Yeah.
Just in case you're driving and you hear sirens, that's on our end.
Yes. It made me feel a certain way, like I started to connect with the character, what she was going through.
And I really liked it because of that. Another thing that I really liked was the battle mechanics. I really liked the fighting, and I liked the battle mechanics. And it took me a while to figure it out, because when the first fight that I did, I was like, what I don't know what to do, because
what the F?
Yeah, you're like,
he's just destroying me.
Yeah, because your control in your brain, your controls are set of what you think the game should be, because you're coming from another game, or you've played a game similar, and so you're always, the controls are mapped the way that you want them to be mapped, or that you remember them to be mapped. So once I figured out the controls, I was really digging the the dodging, the blocking, the timed blocking, the fighting. It's just like, I really
liked
fighting, the battle mechanics, and I also liked each level, like how each level was different. There was a certain, I guess, what would you call it?
I'm trying to think of the word too.
Yeah, like what would you call it? It's just something, some kind of psychological puzzle that you had to deal with on each level, with dealing with the enemy on that level, right? So each one had a different way of affecting
your gameplay or thwarting your advancement in the game, And so some of the things are just
clever. And I don't want to give it away, because I'm going to suggest people play it. I don't want to give away certain things, but you just really had to use your brain, and really, which again, at the same time, you're dealing with these voices in your head, and psychosis of this condition that this your character is suffering from, that she believes to be a curse. Like, she thinks it's a curse because, again, we're going back however long ago. And another thing about this game is the idea of it being fantastical, you know, being more fantasy.
Yeah.
When you're really dealing with what's
inside of your head.
Yeah.
More
inside of your head, and then the battle of what's real and what is in your head. I don't know. I really liked it. I really liked the game. I really liked the game. Yeah. What about you?
So I'm not gonna say I completely dislike the game, right? So I mean, it was beautiful.
Yeah, very good.
The sound design is amazing. The gameplay is super, like you said, good. It's clean. It feels good. Like the parts I didn't like, I got annoyed super fast with the audio behind me, dude. I was like, oh my god, I was like, just shut up, dude. Like the game's never quiet. I was like, and I like being quiet. I like sneaking games. Like I'm down with that. Like, especially not our last game, but the game before that, like a Plague Tale. Like that was quiet. The whole game. Like the idea was to be quiet, and then this game's like, you can't not be quiet.
Yeah.
I didn't enjoy how the puzzles work in that game, but I'm not a puzzle person. So
I loved it.
Yeah, and so that's fair. Like I don't know, puzzles weren't my thing. I watched those, like some of the documentaries. Right, there's different people's like ideas of what's happening in that game, and it like blew my mind. So like this isn't ruining anything, right? So this is just saying like what happens at the beginning. It's like you find out that like her whole tribe was killed, including her husband.
Right.
Well, she was gone.
Right.
So she came back to that.
Right.
All she knows is it's the Northmen that did it. Right. And so in her idea, she's like, let's go find the god of death. And she's like, let's try to bring him back, or like just something. And so in her head, she has all these like, what could have happened? What did happen? All these different things. And so like, even the guys she's fighting, she's like, they're inside her head. Like that's her idea of what the Northmen are.
Right. And it's all based on, like you said, her idea of it.
Yeah.
Which doesn't tell you pretty much anything before going in and play this game.
Yeah, you don't get anything. You come in and you're like, there's people dead everywhere, and there's all these annoying voices. And you're like, oh my, he's like, what's happening? And then you're like, the music, dude, in that game too. Oh my gosh, dude. It has you ready to go at all times.
It grips you, it really does. And what I really liked about the puzzles. I caught myself like when I would solve a puzzle, I caught myself like laughing out loud because I was like, "Whoa, okay, I just figured that out. That's how you do it." Like, holy crap, I've been sitting here for 20 minutes and then I figured out. I'm like, oh, that, and then I like shake my finger. It's pretty clever. That's pretty clever, Ninja Theory. So yeah,
that's a good one.
But this is, like I said, this is my kind of thing. I like things like this, puzzle games, and especially when you can incorporate puzzles into what seems like a realistic environment,
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
So what would you put it as? We'll just go through the different things, right?
Okay.
Graphics. What would you say is graphics for that game?
Graphics were amazing.
Graphics. What would
Really amazed by the graphics.
I would also give it definitely an amazing, especially I turned on my 4K texture packs and all that stuff so I could make sure I got what I could get out of it. And I was like, oh.
And remember, I'm playing on an Xbox One S, and it's still like, I was like, yeah, this is amazing.
Yeah. I had HDR10 on 4K. I was like, here we go. Let's see what happens. And yeah. So I was like, this is real life. I'm gonna die. Story. How far have you gotten into it?
I knew I was going to give it amazing as soon as I got into it, because the stuff that they say to you and the whole idea, the whole concept of it is just like, wow.
You'd bought in.
They had me. They got me hooked. You didn't have to twist my arm on that one.
I'm gonna give the story a good, but that's because I didn't make it very far.
Right.
I still got 2 hours in. Like, don't get me wrong. I was still 2 hours in. I was pretty deep in there.
Yeah.
And I get maybe that's the point of the game. You're confused at the beginning. I was like, what in the heck is happening, bro? I was like, it's dark in my room. I keep thinking my wife's walking in behind me, dude. I'm like,
that's funny. Yeah.
So I'm gonna give it a good, which is that's our second highest, guys. So I mean, I'm not. Don't hate me for that. I'm sorry. I'm not. Don't.
No, this is good though. We have different opinions on this, so you can see that everybody can see that we're not. We are definitely different gamers.
That's true. It's true. So now replayability.
Now replayability, I'm just gonna put good because I don't see myself going back and putting myself through this again. Only because it is exhausting. It is exhausting. I mean, you got to, this is,
they actually worked closely with neuroscientists and mental health specialists on this, right? And based on and with people
actually suffer from the condition. So being in this game, if that's any indication of what it's like to have that condition, it makes you feel totally different, because there are things in the game that I totally understood kind of what was going on, like sort of like images, sort of like echoing images, and bright lights would echo that sort of kind of disturb your view or disrupt your thinking. And I sort of understood, like, this is there for a reason. This is there to kind of mess me up and mess with my thinking. And these, there's people with that. So I'm not sure I would want to put myself through that again just to watch and play this wonderful game. So I give it a good, not because I'm saying I wouldn't, but I'm not leaning
towards that I would.
Yeah.
Towards that I would.
It is a great, this game, I feel like, was made not with the intention of playing it over and over again.
True. I agree. It's definitely a one-timer.
It's a long movie that you play.
Yeah.
As the character. And so, you got anything else you want to add about that game? I would suggest people try it. It's on Game Pass. It's worth trying on Game Pass. And again, you never know if it's your game.
Yeah, if you're playing, the only way I would tell you not to play with headset is like in my
never know if it's your
area. I have 7.2 surround. So I kind of am interested to see what it sounds like on 7.2 surround and not headset. But you definitely should put on a nice headset and play this game, and just get enveloped in it. And because you know me, I love games that I become completely immersed into it. I feel like I'm in the game, and there's not many games that do that. But I definitely suggest people give it a try.
It is definitely one of those games that is worth a try.
Yes.
It is worth way more than $15 a month.
I agree. I totally agree. It's a great game.
It's not that long. It's only 8. It was like 8 to 12 hours.
Yeah.
And 12 is if you really struggle.
That's true.
And
I
believe you could change the difficulty to make it a lot easier for yourself as well. There was difficulty.
So I didn't change anything. So
it vibed with you.
Yeah, it totally vibed with me. I liked it.
So yeah, great game, guys. I would definitely suggest you all try it out. Now we're going to talk about the next game that we're going to play this week that we want you guys to play with us. This game is on Game Pass. Obviously, that's the idea that we have. It is called Absolver Downfall. So the actual game is called Absolver. Mm-hmm. It wasn't called Absolver Downfall. This is it was a very short game that a lot of people were wanting more and kind of sad about when it first is Absolver itself was just like a 4-hour story. Super fast. You blow through it, single player, and you just be like, well, we're done. And I guess there was different things you can like unlock while you're playing it. But Downfall is actually the DLC that came out for the game. So Downfall basically invited co-op play. After you can't do it though until you beat the story. So you got to play the story by yourself, and then you allow co-op play. And so what ends up happening is there's like dungeons, like different puzzles you can play together, different things to level up, different fighting techniques you can unlock, all kinds of different things and weapons. And so I'm really excited to try this game.
I am
it was
too,
one of the ones we talked about it last week that we were talking about when we decided between that and Hellblade. So yeah, if you guys want to try it, get in there with us. If you go onto our YouTube when you're watching these and you got ideas and stuff you want to talk about the game, or you could join one of our Discords or check us out in streams, we'd love to hear your guys.
Hey, stop. I lost you. Hold on. I lost you. Right there.
Yes.
There we go. Okay. Stop. Okay. I lost you there for a second. You're back now, though.
Where was I at?
You were like, you were talking about going in our
Discords.
Oh yeah, it went like red. That was weird. So yeah, if you guys want to be able to put in your input on how
Discords,
we do have our YouTube and stuff. You can also add comments on there. Our Discords are great places to go for that. Mm-hmm. Facebook group, Twitter, all those things.
All those links will be in the YouTube channel as well. The Discord invites and all that stuff. So
Currently, we are working on getting our own Discord for the podcast directly, and we are also working on a website that we can make it so you guys can send you. We can send you guys there, and everything will be able to work out. But that's all things that we have in the works.
Yeah. It should be up actually by next week, I think. ZybaGames.com or .gg.
Yeah, we'll have one of them. We'll let you guys know.
Yeah.
We'll let you know. If you guys can, if you are listening to this podcast and you're listening on YouTube, make sure you guys like, subscribe, follow, whatever it is. Give it 5-star reviews. Whatever you can do whatever you can to help us. I mean,
yep.
And I guess that's really all we have for this week.
Yeah, that's it.
You good? You got anything else you want to add?
I'm good.
Sweet. All right, guys. Well, thanks so much for listening to this week's episode. I'm DeeJayHerro.
I'm Yogomi.
And we'll see you guys next week.
See you next week. See ya.